All right. Monday's edition of Daily Bread coming at you live right at 2:10 on the East Coast. It is the day after Selection Sunday. So we got some college basketball thoughts on what happened in the bracket breakdown. And then we got you covered for the 9 NBA games today. We'll give you quick hits on each one, let you know where the top plays are out. It's still only 2 o'clock, so some injury news could be coming up, but we doubt that in the NBA tonight. So we got you covered on where to be looking. As usual, the show is powered and sponsored by the Wise Guys Diamond Club. Definitely be checking them out this week as March Madness is starting. NBA, soccer. Andy went nuts the other day in it, so be sure to be checking them out. We're live on Twitter. Thank you for all who are watching us there. We'll shout out your comments. We still can't show them. And we appreciate it if you give the episode a like and a retweet. And as usual, YouTube is our spot to be at Daily Bread Media. You can come in here, become friends with each other, talk some shit on us because we got some big NBA games today. Whatever the hell you want to
There's
do.
only
We
one
have
big game
people
today,
tailing
bro.
tennis plays in our chat for plus money already. So that's what our comment does. Shout out to Mo and shout out to TVOD. Sosa,
Yeah.
how you doing on this Monday?
Hey, man, I'm chilling. That's TiVo the Great. But yeah, man, I'm chilling. Got a nice bracket yesterday. Some teams got in that we didn't expect to get in, but they did. And I like. I'm not really disappointed in too many teams getting out. I mean, obviously, it's easy to immediately have that feeling of I don't even know the exact thought I'm looking for here, where you feel slighted, I guess, where some teams got. So I don't think that was a big deal. I think they were good money. You know what I mean? I think the committee did a good job of selecting the teams that were really the best, and I think they did a good job of that personally. Um,
Yeah. I mean, there's one team that I could see who could not get in, but when you looked at the first four out, I mean, that's kind of where I had more issues with teams that were seeded. I'll get into that before we give our NBA plays of the day. But if you want to compete against me, Sosa, Spindock, Steven, Sam, Goose, everyone who's affiliated with Daily Bread Media, down at the bottom, you can search our thing on the ESPN Bracket Challenge, Daily Bread Media, or we tweeted it with the starfish GIF out there this morning. It's free to join, $500 to the winner. Yeah, Michigan is definitely the one team that I could see if they didn't get in, I wouldn't have been too upset with it. The seeding that they got overall is kind of maybe where I had more of an issue compared to what other teams have done. It really just shows they didn't respect many teams that went on the late season runs, a la Texas A&M and Indiana, by the spots that they got with Michigan holding that spot. My biggest issue with it and all of it is Boise State getting an 8. That is one of the more ridiculous seedings I've seen in an extremely long time. I know you all weren't expecting that, but they won the regular season Mountain West Championship
and
and
the
the
conference tournament.
postseason, and you gave them the 8. Colorado State got the 5. You know I love my Rams, and I'm not going to talk shit on any Colorado State. Shout out to our one follower Rome, who's a Buffs or who's a Rams fan. Not trying to say that Colorado State didn't deserve the 5, but what
They didn't deserve the 5.
no, but, like, what more did Boise State do? That's what I like, what did they not do? They got slighted. They played, like, a tough non-con schedule as well. That's kind of where if you win the regular season and the ship and you put a team that didn't even make the championship game 3 seeds above them and Boise has to draw Gonzaga if they win their first round game, that's the one I had the biggest issues with of all the teams that got seeded. And happy for my Dons. I gotta be happy for
Well,
them.
of
I
course, I
didn't
know
think they
you,
were gonna
you,
get
you
in.
you were hyped about the Dons. They made another. They made
You
another
really
run.
gotta make them play
They made
Murray
another.
State
They
too?
finally made the tournament as an at large. Woohoo! Now they get smoked. Now they're gonna get smoked in the first round, right?
They get Murray State. It's like, come on, man. You're going to give like two of the teams I like to watch more. It's kind of like last year's VCU Oregon matchup. You got some of these first round matchups I want absolutely nothing to do with or not watch because I'll watch them. But then there's some where the two teams you're potentially targeting got slated up against each other, which sucks.
Yeah, it's interesting. Um, Indiana. Hmm. It's the first. I was trying to pull up the bracket right now. Um, they're the two teams that I really got me, or the two games that really stuck out to me, were in the I gotta pull up the what region it is. I think it's in the South region. Like you said, Colorado State, Michigan. I like Michigan in that matchup. It's a contrast of styles. One team wants to shoot threes, the other wants to. The other team wants to play half court and bang on the boards. So I personally in the first half, no doubt they played all weekend.
Yeah,
Murphy's Law
Mountain
says
West teams are easy fades first round of the tourney too as well, historically. If you've never seen that, San Diego State's really the only team that's ever made a decent run in the tournament, but usually more often than not, Mountain West teams are nice fade spots. The Braves just got Matt Olson.
oh from Oakland. Shout out to baseball season coming back here. I'm excited. I don't know about y'all. I got my fucking
How much does it suck to be Dayton and one of the first four teams out where you just have to chill, keep practicing, and knowing that you're not going to have to be a replacement team?
should have been better in your conference tournament. Should have won those one or two games that you took for granted. That's how I feel. Honestly, I'm not really like, a lot of people are like sympathizers for the guys that didn't make it. You should have been better than the regular season. You're not a Power Five school. That extra cheeseburger that you guys had before Wofford, that's your fault.
What about Texas A&M? You're not salty about them, one, not even making it, but two, being the fourth team of the fourth replacement spots.
Should
That
have
was kind of the wildest stuff I saw.
should have been better. Should have been better. That's all. That's really just how I look at it. Murphy's Loxy said Simeon went
But
off
they made it to
after.
the SEC finals. They tried to be the best that they could at the time that they needed to. That's kind of just where.
Yeah, I'm just real quick in regards to the trade you just mentioned. He said Simeon went off after leaving Oakland, was a home run leader, so I'd watch for Olson this year. And he says Indy first half, no doubt the way they played based on this weekend. I'm guessing that's the Pacers.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I they played two pretty decent games this weekend.
I was about to say we can get to the talk again at the end about more of the conference stuff. So if you drop it in, I'll start it up. But we had someone from Twitter drop a play. We had Joseph drop Bucks -1. So let's get into tonight's NBA slate.
Also, remember, if you're joining us on Twitter, hop over to YouTube. It's much easier to get your comments over. Oh, he said Indiana College, some college, and I'm not sure what game is that is, but just send the exact game and we'll
It
shout
has
it
to
out.
probably be baseball then.
Hoosiers first. Oh, Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana Hoosiers first half. That he's talking about the plan. That's the
Yeah,
plan.
tomorrow against
Yeah,
Wyoming.
tomorrow against Wyoming. All right. So obviously there's 9 NBA games on the schedule today. I think that there's a couple of plays that I want to visit in a couple of games. I think we'll get to Philly last. I really only have 3 NBA plays
Yeah, I was
today.
about to say we'll probably walk through each game quickly. So you want to start with the Clippers Cavs?
Um, Not really. It's very difficult for me to bet on the Cavs without Jarrett Allen. He makes a difference in what they do. Obviously, the Clippers are slumping; they're not looking good, um, but they're still better than the Lakers. Um, plus 7.5 against Cleveland. I think the look in this game would probably be the under, but I have no props or plays in this game. Darius Garland, we're probably looking for him to bounce back assist wise. He had one of his rougher games last game. His last game was probably the worst game he's had all year. Shooting the ball, he also didn't do a great job of getting his teammates involved. I think that Garland comes back, definitely a prime bounce back spot for him, 100%.
The under seems the look in this one. It is set low. Was it sitting at 211 still, 212 on
212,
some
212
books.
and a half, yeah.
It's just that when the Cavs are playing against these poor teams in the second half of the season that average less than 108 points per game, they're
Couple of easy
0-7
parlays or
ATS and
something.
1-5 to the under. So that's just kind of where. And then so far in March games for the Clipper, the overs 2-5. So that's just where all the numbers are pointing. Even though it's low, it's set there for a reason.
Yes, sir.
We had to
Um,
get that one out of the way because I knew that'd probably be the one we would have the least amount of thoughts on of the whole
yeah,
board.
there's a couple stinkers tonight, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. A
Yeah, but
couple
that's the
games,
worst of the worst because at least we talk
absolutely,
about the Bulls versus the Kings a little bit more than that.
absolutely.
What game you wanna go to next?
First play I have tonight is in the Minnesota versus San Antonio Spurs game. We have a San Antonio Spurs team that basically rested their entire roster on Saturday. Got beat by Indiana. Everybody's back tonight. Going up against a Minnesota team that runs and runs and runs and runs to shoot threes. We're going to go right back to the last time, the play that's cashed us out three straight times, and that's going to be the Minnesota team total over 62 and a half first half. Um, that's what they do. They get out and run. They shoot threes. San Antonio doesn't play great defense. They're a team that plays to the over the majority of the time, having all their players back. Pop kind of gave him Saturday off because he just passed. Who did he just pass? Don Nelson's the all-time leading wins in NBA history as a head coach. So I expect for that game to go over. I like the Minnesota Timberwolves first half over 62 and a half team total, and that's at minus 105. Um, I think everything points towards that being just a shootout. Also, San Antonio plays very high pace. First half, they always get out and run. Jer's saying Garland's points for the Cleveland game wouldn't be couldn't talk you off it. Murray's points, I couldn't talk you off it either.
Yeah, this
Um,
is a gross spot where if I had to play a side in this game, I'd wanna lay the 3.5 with the T-Wolves, but since they're on the road and there's better spots tonight, I'm gonna stay off that one. But yeah, with the Spurs, that last game where they rested everyone, that was kind of an easy spot to nail on Saturday after the win against Utah on Friday night, where they came back in that fourth quarter, which was solid.
right,
So
the
here in
team.
this one, the points, I mean, it's the way it has to be. San Antonio, they've only lost 8 times as a favorite and they've been 6-2 to the over afterwards. So I can definitely see this being an up and down game, even though the Spurs, it seems like when they've gotten their guys back in this part of the stretch that they've locked them more up on defense, or Vegas has figured out their totals because overall in games and over in March, they're 1-5. So they've been just barely hitting the under there.
Yes, sir. Um, what's you're going through NBA today, right?
Hopefully, if you don't talk me off any of them.
All right. Okay. Hey, no problem. No problem.
Well, you know the first one we got to target, but our man Anthony out tonight, probably still correct.
Yeah, he's definitely bro. Listen, and I really, if you can get a bookie anywhere in America to give you a line on Busy Bones points tonight, I have to do a disclaimer real quick so people really know that I know my shit. All right, Busy Bones is from Wilmington, Delaware. Okay, he is going to have an entire city inside of Wells Fargo Center tonight. Well, for whatever minutes he plays, you're going to hear the crowd roar loud because
Mhm.
they love him in this area. If you can get a bookmaker to give you a line on his points, he's going to get them. It's going to be like 9.5. You can't get it on any of the major books. You have a good chance of getting him on a smaller. But let me explain something to you. He's going to have a lot of people in that building tonight, and people think, oh, they're showing up for Jokic. Nah, bro. The entire state of Delaware will be at Wells Fargo Center tonight. I promise you that. Um, so I just wanted to get that out of the way before we actually start breaking down the game and stuff. But if you can get a line on him, I promise you he gets his points tonight. Um,
Yeah,
so
that's where the question I was going to have for you and what I was targeting. I mean, it's terrible to try to target a guard on the Trailblazers right now, but it really just has to be Josh Hart over 17.5 points tonight is a potential look. I don't really want to go in LB. Wofford's too doesn't won't draw one of the matchups. It's just slim pickings, and especially with that 14-point spread, it could be dead if it's a blowout in the fourth. So that's where the usual get whoever Trey is guarding. Doesn't look like it's going to work tonight.
yeah, I mean, also they also had two guys go kind of crazy over the weekend. Watford had a good game, and then Williams has been playing pretty good. But again, these are G League players. Like it's beyond me to put my hard-earned money on guys with no level of of uh, of cachet or whatsoever, or just track record in the NBA at this point in the year, unless you're just fading a bad team. You know what I mean? It's just it's too many good spots on a 9-game slate to be betting
Yeah,
those
and that's
plays.
even where Josh Hart came and get me to pull the trigger just because it's 17.5. Just a little too high for my liking.
Yes, sir. In and the next one I want to get into is the Charlotte Hornets Oklahoma City game. And I'm just gonna call my shot out tonight. I like LaMelo Ball to get over 7.5 assists at plus 104. He has not been playing well. I don't care what anyone says. You gotta if you watch the tape, he looks lethargic defensively. He's a blow by. The kid is he looks like he's hit a wall. And
Mhm.
whether y'all want to admit it or not, it's fine because you'll look at the box score like, well, he just had 24. Yeah, well, he shot like 24% from the floor to get the 24, and he just he's not looking like the guy he was beginning of the year. Maybe I'm overreacting or making it a bigger deal than they are. This Charlotte Hornets team has just underperformed in my opinion as well. They do not look anywhere near like a contender to any capacity to even make like a threat in the playoffs or win a series, nothing like that. There's been no real ascension from this team, and it's kind of crazy to think that like just losing Gordon Hayward was enough to basically derail their entire year. They lost
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward and they all fell apart. Also, who the fuck is running the front office? Why did they draft Kai Jones? We did a whole show on draft night
About how he
about
could be the perfect fit.
he'd be the perfect fit in Charlotte, and they're getting destroyed by everybody's front line. Everybody can get a double double against Mason Plumlee, and whatever other bum
He
they
just
tried
has to
out
be
there
that
at
much
5.
worse at defense or has 0 post game that they can't even just put him out there. But this is where in a game in this, one of
He
my
can't
3
catch
plays.
lobs. You know how bad you have to be losing playing time to fucking Mason Plumlee in 2022. Like you have to really suck.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking the over 231 here at -110 in this game. After when the Hornets get hot and they scored 130 in their prior game, they've done that 7 times this season. Their next game goes over 6-1, and OKC when they set it high and OKC over 230 at home, 2-0 this year, will be rocking the over 231. And plus, Shy is just smashing everything right now. So that's just where even if I'm not trying to back the +10 here, just because I think we're just going to see LA Fitness style back to the bubble type ball here tonight.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that. Um, the my final play. Well, I'm gonna do two more, but the play that I love right now is in the Chicago Bulls Sacramento Kings game,
Ooh,
and I'm laying at 3.5 with the Chicago Bulls.
it's your spot. They're playing a bad team.
Listen. They don't beat good teams, but the bad ones they handle the bad ones. Sorry to fade your Kings, Murph, but the game is the game, my brother. It just I don't like them in this spot. Um, I'm laying at 3.5 with them. Again, I think the Bulls they're at the point where they're going to ascend here a little bit. They just got Caruso back. They're going to be better defensively on the perimeter. They're not going to be giving up 130 points like they were left and right. Um, I think he helps them immensely across the board. Also, a pretty good playmaker, shoots space the floor pretty well, shooting threes. He's not one of those guards that need the ball in his hands to really make plays. Caruso is a nice little piece to add here for a 15-game run towards the playoffs. I think he's a piece that is undervalued, and people do not really realize how good he is and what he brings as far as like a team component. Um, I think he changes a lot for what Chicago wants to do. And it also makes it so much easier to basically sell off Lonzo Ball in the offseason. And I'm saying it right now. If the Chicago Bulls are smart, they will trade Lonzo Ball in the offseason. You got Io, he's solid. You got Caruso, he's solid. You got Kobe White, who's a much better floor spacer and can catch and shoot threes and can play make at the same level. Get rid of Lonzo. I'm sorry, man. The guy just he gets screwed everywhere he goes, whether it's injury or they bring in a superstar, or he just doesn't fit. It's unfortunate, but he is a victim this year of giving other people opportunities. Io is really good for where they drafted him.
Hmm.
Kobe White was a lottery pick. I think Lonzo's he might be the odd man out here in the offseason. It sucks to say it, but he availability has really, really fucked him.
Yeah, and Io was someone who was getting extremely low draft grades out of going into it, and someone who just put up and shut up and put the effort on the court and making the most of his minutes. So shout out to Io.
And he's a hometown kid, so you always love to see that, right? He's from Chicago, so it's wonderful to see him thriving in a thriving in a situation that fits him at the crib. We're gonna go over this. We're gonna go over this Milwaukee Bucks Utah Jazz game. I think I feel like that's where you're eyeing up another play.
Oh yeah, you know we got to pick the big ones.
Oh, oh, we'll get into that in a minute when it's ready, Ryan. When it's ready. But yeah, we got the Jazz here
Man,
back at
that's
home
just
against
what when when's the game you missed that mattered?
right. We got the Jazz back home. The Jazz who have not been looking like the team they've. How can I even say this? Because like we give these teams that don't win shit a lot of credit for being good in the regular season.
The I mean, the Jazz were hot that like towards the end of February. Then just once March hit, they just been yo-yoing wins and losses back and forth. It's just been
Yeah.
the seesaw that they've been on. Just got through a terrible West road trip to start the month. That's where we were fading them a little bit there, and then they just had a bad back at the crib here. When you can get them basically as dogs and on the money line, where is it sitting at right now? Yeah, the Jazz are -1. The Bucks are. If it was anyone but the Bucks, I probably would have just played the Jazz already on the money line here. The Bucks like going out to Utah for some reason, probably just because it's another weird city like Milwaukee.
Yeah, that and the Bucks are just one of those teams that just they're a when I feel like it type of team. We do get Brooke Lopez back tonight. Brooke Lopez returning for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. So, maybe I listen, I think it might be a small fade spot here for the Bucks, but there's nothing impressive to me about this Utah Jazz team. We just saw Clarkson he just went crazy the other night. I think he dropped 45. Bogdanovich has had a good run as of recently. D. Mitch has been, it's been D. Mitch. He's been on and off. He hasn't been that great this year either. I think that maybe the Jazz are victims of just basically kind of sleepwalking through the season because they kind of feel like they've been there before. They kind of like don't
Yep.
really have this. They know the task at hand. We got to make the playoffs and make a run. And I think that also I think something that's really bearing in the back of the mind of a lot of these Utah guys is injury. I mean, Conley getting hurt and Mitchell getting hurt. Fuck them at the end of the year last year. You know
Yeah,
what
and
I
this
mean?
is where Rudy's questionable,
Uh,
Bogdanovich is questionable. They both could be probable. It varies on which site to site that you're looking at here. But that's kind of where without Rudy in the lineup, do the Jazz actually play better when he's not in that lineup sometimes? Defensive, I mean, that's where without him in there, I would definitely lean towards the over here just because they could play with that more pace. But if he's in the lineup, I'd honestly tend towards the under 232 in this spot.
I want to answer that question. With Lopez back, you start him. Let me explain why. Because the most efficient lineup that the Milwaukee Bucks trotted out in the playoffs last year was Giroux, Middleton, Portis, Giannis, and Lopez. Because when those three guys are in the game, you're not getting a rebound. You're not getting any boards with those three guys in the game. Not one. And you can definitely play Portis even more now because he can shoot the three lights out. Bobby Portis's improvement at shooting the three, he never has to come off the floor. Like you can move him to the three, you can move him to the four, and then play Giannis at the five if you want. You don't ever have to change anything anymore because of his ability to shoot the three now. Like it's when people don't understand when from a matchup standpoint, come playoff time, NBA teams are going to be in hell trying to defend the Milwaukee Bucks. And then think about it like this: you now have a lineup one that's elite defensively, where all five players can shoot the three. How do you defend that? Well, see, that's the thing. Fourth quarter, teams tend to go small. So it's perfect where you can move Giannis to the five and you can play Portis at the four, and then you can even play Portis at the three and play Ibaka at the four You know what I mean? They have and all those guys are interchangeable. They all play defense. They can all space the floor shooting threes. So it's a situation where they have an embarrassment of riches on that Milwaukee team. They have all veteran players as well, and they have guys that have won championships. They're gonna, like I said, come playoff time, the NBA is going to be looking at a team that's primed to really smoke everyone. The only thing that can beat a team like Milwaukee is superstar talent. So
And that's why we're going with the Bucks money line even tonight.
even I'm with it 100%. And then, like I said, one is availability of certain players and the unavailability of certain other ones.
All right,
Philly,
last game we got to get into. Or we got two more real quick before the big one. Wizards Warriors just staying away.
I got nothing, man.
What about your favorite team, the Los Angeles Lakers, home
Huh?
dogs with the Raptors coming in tonight?
Did they play last night? Oh, they got beat by 30. Oh, I didn't even know. It's on the computer screen. I had no clue. Man, shout out to the Lakers, man. They were some good dudes. Let's get into the game that actually matters.
Man, we just like it because the Lakers keep falling off and the Pels just getting that closer. But let's get into the game
They
of
were
the
some
night.
really good dudes.
7:30, ESPN.
On a Monday. We got the ESPN game on a Monday. Nice jersey you got there. Who is that?
Harden.
Oh, nice.
House Row. Remind me of my stellar rowing days for 1 year.
Yep. Sounds about white. But anyway, into tonight's game. I mean, we're all hoping that we're getting this amazing matchup between Jokic and Embiid. I don't think Embiid's gonna play tonight. Like, and I know people are probably like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? But I don't even want him to play, man. He played 41 fucking minutes last night on the road into overtime. I don't want him playing. I don't even want him to play. Do you?
Nah, I mean,
I don't even
they
want him.
should have
I mean,
sat him
I
last night
think
for
I
this
think
game.
we'll I
That's
think we'll
why.
sit him. I think that's what everything's planning up to do. I think they're going to announce him as like questionable like 2 hours before the game, and then
Joel
he'll just sit
Embiid is
out.
4-1 lifetime against Jokic so far. Yeah, they haven't played since 2019, but 4-1 when they go head to head. So Jokic,
Right.
I don't think Embiid's afraid of any of that smoke when he's already beat them 4 out of the 5 times they played.
Y'all ever hear Jokic complain about a back to back? Well, he doesn't speak English, so we wouldn't know. This guy, is he serious?
Well, that's kind of where with last night. I mean, I see the point where he should be sitting, but they would have sat him last night in Orlando because you don't
Right.
sit him at home games here. So that's
I
where I
think that's
think
just
he might be. I don't want to say a minutes restriction. He only might play 28 at the end of the night here. But I still think even he and Danny Green's probably going to play tonight. So we have like no concerns of people being out. The power forwards for where Tobias and whoever we throw into that spot are going to have to be the ones that capitalize on it because it doesn't look like Gordon's going to play, and it looks like Zeke Naji could be missing as well. So they're going to be even more limited with their already depth here. So that's where everyone supposedly it opened at 5.5. I believe that was only on DraftKings. The number that it opened everywhere else looks to be 3. Moved down to 2.5, and now you got varying numbers between the 2.5 and the 3, depending where you look. The 224 is pretty low for, I think, where this game ends up because I'm rocking the over 224 minus 110 here in this game. Jokic and Embiid. I mean, I think Embiid plays, and I think they're going to fight for the MVP trophy tonight on here, and they're both going to put up 30 plus.
Of course he's gonna fucking play, bro. I'm just saying that shit. As a Sixer fan and seeing that
He shouldn't play for his health and all that.
Well, seeing that we're a 3 seed and we won last night, and we're not in a fight with the Timberwolves, for a play-in spot to get in. Like in reality, this game doesn't really matter for a team. Jokic has to carry his team to the 6th seed to make sure they don't play in a play-in game. You know what I mean? Because he's an MVP candidate whose team's barely making the playoffs. Just want to throw that out there. They'd be 4th, but you don't know how to do math, so I
The
don't
Nuggets
expect
would
you to.
be 6th in the East or the West, so I really don't know what point that proves.
Yeah, I
But
don't get it.
so,
You
even
get in
though
the
we're
playoffs.
rocking the over 224 here, since Harden's been back, that's the only time it's gone over the total of 220 at home when the Sixers game's been listed at that number. So far in the season, it's 1-7. And the biggest reason why I like this over is because what Harden has done in his entire career against the Nuggets. He's averaging, I believe it's 28 points per game off the top of my head off it, because he just goes into a pick and roll the entire time. And I expect that's where maybe Millsap, who else knows who's going to be thrown into that pick and roll. I think it's going to be anybody and everyone tonight just to get Harden moving, because if you're going to really try to let Embiid chill, he's not going to be the one that's going to be going up every other play for that pick and roll.
Oh, I got 4 plays in this one. I got 4 that I love. So, can I belt them off?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First play in the game is James Harden over 21.5 points.
Everything I just said. Easy enough.
That's easy. But we playing him to 25 and plus 152. Because I think tonight he eats against those guards. Those outside of Barton, those wing defenders, I'm not worried about them. No, not even remotely. Thoughts on T Wolves Spurs? Darrell. My pick was the T Wolves first half over 62.5. Um, Tobias Harris tonight over 1.5 3-pointers at plus 140. I think it's good money. I think if you're scared, it's one of those if you're scared, go to church type of situations.
You think he keeps rolling? Is that really more of it's not
It's
really a
him.
bounce back any sport
It's
spot, is
it's
it?
him figuring out. It's just him figuring out like his his spots to be with Harden running the point. Um,
And he should be open all night tonight because he's probably going to be one of the players who draws the best matchup. Who is it going to be? JaMychal Green on him or Jeff Green?
but like I said, it's for a guy that loves to dribble. He loves to take 6, 7 dribbles. He's one of those guys. But I personally, like I said, I can't. I can't really wait till the playoffs because I think that's when people will actually put some respect on Tobias Harris. I think he'll be responsible for making some big plays for us in the playoffs, and that's really all I'm looking forward to here. But tonight, I like him to hit 2 threes. I like James Harden to get 21.5. I like James Harden to get 25. It's really easy to take Embiid's points, but again, on a back-to-back after playing 41 minutes. It's too difficult. It's too difficult of a situation.
Bias defenders unite.
I'm not a Tobias defender. That motherfucker sucks. He's the worst max player in the history of basketball ever, like in the history of the sport. There's never been a worse max contract awarded to anyone, and he's a good dude too. But
Doc was supposed to be the one who he thrives with and goes with. I don't know. I think he can figure it out. He can change the narrative around soon.
yeah, not Tobias's ass. Tobias is Evan. His honesty, bro. There it is. Line up the excuses already. He did play. He literally played 41 minutes. He had like 35, 14, and 7. What the fuck? He did. See, the thing is, Ryan doesn't understand like the luxury of being a top 3 seed. Like when you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. You know.
I
I
mean, they
get it,
knew the
man.
one time they got the top seed in the West, and then they bow out in the first or second round.
Yeah, imagine Embiid got to drop like 47, 17, and 18 to beat the Pelicans without CJ McCollum. I mean, like, I'm just saying, bro.
What was your fourth play in the Sixers? Tobias was third, or did you only have 3?
What the fuck is going on in the comments? Jokic doesn't speak English. It was a joke, Scott. Who the fuck is Scott? He seems offended. It was a joke, bro. What is it? Oh, man.
What else we got? Do we want to talk about you don't got any more plays for us to share today?
Scott's Facebook profile photo is him holding a fish with an American flag hanging behind his boat. Why did he show up? See, now I see. You see, now and we can talk a little bit more about college ball if you
I
want.
was gonna say I kind of want to talk about Kirk Cousins.
Oh man, first team all ski mask, right? First team all ski mask for real. Let's talk about him. Oh man.
That's just he just keeps getting the contract for being completely mids and just not winning playoff games. It's the best. I just don't understand it. I guess he's better than 16 other starters out there, but is he $35 million a year to go 8-8?
Yes, and I'll explain why. Because spreadsheets get you paid. That's why. That
And
is why.
Case Keenum took him to like the furthest they ever made it.
Yeah, but like I said, that's how it happens. To be totally honest, you know what I mean? Like he got the franchise tag twice. That's why they had to give him a shit ton
Ooh.
of guaranteed money. Now you have a situation where you don't want the coach to be a lame duck coach, and he's like, I'm going to say this: Kirk Cousins is a franchise quarterback. You know what I'm saying? A franchise quarterback. So when the number gets reset to 50, I believe the 50 was. He got reset to 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
35 M's is actually a steal. I mean, bro, we're gonna be seeing backup quarterbacks here getting close to 15, $20 million a season here coming soon.
Well, Trubisky only got 2 today, so
He got 2 million.
yeah.
Oh, well, he's ass though. He can't read books without pictures. That's different. They gave him a Gilbert Great Brothers contract. It makes sense. You know, he stinks. He fucking
Yeah, it
stinks.
probably still means they're going to probably draft Malik Willis if he's there.
Yeah, they're gonna end up drafting Pickett. Everything just fits right for them.
Oh,
You
you
know what I
think they
mean?
stay home? I guess so.
I
I think
mean,
they go Willis if he's
I
there.
like Willis, but I mean, it's like I think he's a super project. To be honest with you,
Also, I
I
got
like the
Trubisky,
guy,
man, 2 years.
bro. Again, man, like Mitch Trubisky wears a helmet when he's not playing football. You know what I mean? You can't, I can't trust a guy like that. You know what I mean? Mm-mm.
And we
I just
told
still
you
can't
Brady
believe
wasn't retiring. I even tweeted that out. I mean, that was clear the day
what,
he was coming back.
but he never really retired, right?
No.
Like he never really retired. He just kind of told us that, you know what I mean? Like he never really retired, you know? But we all know he saw Cristiano Ronaldo over the weekend. He saw a real goat. He's like, damn it, motherfucker running around for 2 hours. I gotta come back. That would be my only explanation. I think he saw Cristiano Ronaldo like, damn, I thought I was a worldwide icon. I'm not. I'm not. I'm just a
He's
guy
at
from
to the
Michigan that
point.
plays football. No one fucks with me outside of these 50 states.
He's to the point where he's literally going to have a bad season because he's going to keep riding it out if he can keep just walking through it and making the NFC playoffs at this
He
point, or
will
he just hates his family that much.
Well, not, and you know what it is? The great thing about Brady is his awareness of it being a team sport. And that was the biggest part of what got him through all those years in New England
Yeah.
is him taking pay cuts and understanding that it's a team sport. I need 10 other people to be successful. And you hear people talk about all the time how he's a great teammate and he likes all the people that he plays with, all that other shit, all the people he works with, all that. I think that's really the biggest thing is that he wasn't, some highly recruited guy who was like a superstar forever. He built himself into that. And I think that that's the biggest part of Tom Brady that goes unnoticed or not as respected as much is the fact that he is such a great teammate and he values the people around him. Like obviously they franchised Chris Godwin. Once he saw that, now he had to announce
He
it
lost his
yesterday.
line, though, which is the most surprising part, which I thought could be the only thing that kept him retired.
Well, he had to announce it yesterday too, right? Like because free agency starts
Yep.
today, so it's him doing the organization a service by saying, "Hey, listen, I've made a decision. I'm coming back. I'm going to announce it before you guys have to let go of anyone." Which is again him being a good teammate, him not holding the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hostage with them not having any level of certainty at the quarterback position. Again, it's just, I mean, it's kind of a dick move because it was on Selection Sunday and he basically said, fuck them kids. But, it is what it is. He's the GOAT. I guess he can decide whatever he wants. Could have
What
said it
about
on
this
Saturday,
comment
though,
from
right?
Mr. Heat? And then we can wrap it up.
Hassan Riddick to the Birds.
Oh, hell yeah. Temple boy.
That's the edge rusher?
Yeah.
Ain't
He
he from
played at
Jersey?
Temple under Matt Rule. That's why Matt Rule wanted him so bad at
He's from
Carolina.
Jersey, right?
They got him from Arizona.
Yeah, he's from Jersey, ain't he?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right.
Nice. I love that move.
Right, yeah.
Thank you, Evan, for
Nice
that.
edge.
I missed that. Let's
Does that mean your
go.
boy stays?
Who? Fletcher? No, he's gone.
No, you think Fletcher's gone?
Yeah. We'll be sad.
Camden. Right. I knew he's from Jersey, Hassan. Hey, man. And don't y'all
Temple
get Graham's supposed to be back next year, too, right?
Yep. Yeah, Fletcher's gone. Too much. Supposedly the Chargers want him. I doubt the Chargers keep him or get him at this rate with how many players are moving in, but that was like the one thing I've seen about
Right.
Fletcher.
I mean, the Chargers would be like if you're going to trade a franchise changing guy like a Fletcher Cox, you're going to send him to the AFC for sure. So, yeah.
But yeah, this comment. I think it could be worse because Mitch Trubisky, I don't know how much you've seen. He can't throw to the left. Big Ben can throw to the left. It might not make it there, but at least he looks to the left.
Is
Frank
Mitch going to be able
out
to?
at FC? The George Washington coach got fired. The Rhode Island coach got fired, and fucking Billy Lang is still.
Frank got fired. Frank resigned, right? They didn't fire him.
Mike White went to Georgia from Florida too. That was a weird move that happened.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Is Florida athletics in that bit? Are they that bad?
No, Mike.
That bad?
I forget what stream we were on. I was saying Florida's just getting tired of Mike White more than anything else.
Wow, unbelievable.
That Billy Donovan court has that 2 years back to back. They just need to kind of accept like what Maryland has. You had your moment in the sun. It's not looking like it's going to come back for a little bit. Appreciate what you had and stop being crazy with the coaches.
Yeah, man. LeBron still had 30.
Till tomorrow. Like, subscribe. Champions League is back tomorrow. We'll have footy action.
They got beat by 30, though.